On this week's VA News,
a perfect guide to help veterans build a fully developed claim.
The 2013 VA Benefits Handbook is available online.
And the search for MIAs is just as big at home as it is on battlefields abroad.
I'm Bryn McGowan with the Office of Acquisition Operations.
And I'm Herman Cohen with the Veterans Benefits Administration. We're coming right back, so stay with us.
At the end of your workday, do you know you've made a difference? These people do. You see, these doctors, nurses, counselors, and health technicians work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. They get to care for perhaps the most deserving of all Americans, the men and women who've served in our nation's armed forces. Visit vacareers.va.gov to find out how you can make a difference too.
Everything you could want to know about how to get a quick decision on a VA benefits claim through the new fully developed claim program is in one place. It's practically gift-wrapped with a bow. At the VA Vantage Point blog, keyword claims, you will find a posting by Catherine Trombley. Ms. Trombley, an Air Force veteran and a Veterans Benefit Administration employee, provides in clear, plain language a guide to filing a claim that will move VBA's process to get a quick but accurate decision. Ms. Trombley tells you how to identify and gather necessary records, how to upload the records, and how to file a fully developed claim from your computer. She provides a lot of extra tips and suggestions to ensure the claim is ready to move quickly through the VBA process.
The 2013 edition of one of the federal government's most popular publications is now available. You can get Federal Benefits Book for Veterans, Dependents, and Survivors online at the address on the screen as an ebook or a PDF file. Just click on Media Room, then Publications, and then the Handbook under Books. The 206-page handbook provides the latest information about VA medical care, benefits, and eligibility requirements. Some of the hottest topics include education assistance, disability compensation, pension, home loan guarantee, vocational rehabilitation, life insurance, burial assistance, as well as a complete listing of VA facilities, addresses, phone numbers, and important websites. While the book is free to all veterans, dependents, and survivors through the above link or by visiting your nearest VA facility, you can purchase the hard copy through the government printing office. Limited numbers of copies will be arriving at VA facilities across the nation in August.
When we think of MIAs, we think of far-off places where American heroes, dead or alive, are missing.
You may be surprised to know a significant number are lost right here in the United States.
A program begun 6 years ago has found that many of the unclaimed ashes held by funeral homes, sometimes for decades, are those of veterans. In the past week alone, cremains of veterans were delivered to national cemeteries in Bath, Rochester, and Syracuse, New York, to give them the burial with honor our nation guarantees.
We are gathered here today to bear witness and stand as family and friends for these 18 men who all share a common thread. They all served this great country of ours, and they did so honorably. Some in conflict, and some during peacetime. Why they became forgotten is not at issue today. They each had their own lives filled with dreams, family, and loved ones, and today they are no longer forgotten.
The Missing in America Project is a nationwide effort to identify and honorably inter the unclaimed cremains of veterans, which began in 2007.
The Missing in America Project was started approximately 7 years ago in response to the need of finding out that we had veterans out there that were sitting on shelves, forgotten. Nobody was ever coming and claiming them.
We first start looking at the funeral homes, asking them if they have any unclaimed cremains, let them know about the Missing in America Project, and if they're willing to work with us, they'll give us a list, inventory list of their cremains, at which point then we start the process of finding out if they're eligible veterans or dependents.
We're approximately almost 1,500 veterans that we've buried across the country. Most recent we've had in Arizona. We just had one here in March, Arlington National Cemetery in May, and that particular one involved veterans from all the wars, from California, from Maryland, Virginia, and we also included 2 Civil War veterans who sat on a shelf from 1908 and 1912. They were brothers, one officer, one enlisted, and so we're across the country.
They were someone's brother, they were our neighbors, they were someone's dad, and today we lay them to rest in our national cemetery here at Quantico.
This ceremony in Virginia honored 18 veterans at the Department of Veterans Affairs Quantico National Cemetery, June 22nd.
Thanks to the efforts of dedicated volunteers, generous funeral homes, funeral directors, state and federal organizations, they are no longer forgotten, no longer unknown, and no longer alone. I want to commemorate the Missing in Action Project Veteran Recovery Program for their tireless effort and work in identifying these deserving veterans and for bringing us together as a community partners to ensure that they are laid to rest in the National Cemetery.
It's been a rewarding event personally to myself and to my staff to engage with the MIAP in order to lay these veterans to rest.
We've been involved with the Missing America at all our national cemeteries to ensure that those that are passed on with no families, no relatives, that they can find a resting place in one of our national cemeteries across the nation.
You can get more information, including dates and locations of upcoming ceremonies across the country, on the Missing in America Project website on the screen.
Tech 5, Lloyd B. Harrison, United States Army, World War II.
Congratulations to the American veteran. VA's monthly video news magazine has won an Emmy Award in the 2013 National Capital Chesapeake Bay Chapter Emmy competition. This is the 4th Emmy for the American veteran since it debuted in 2005. The Emmy Award-winning segment was the Veterans Portrait Project, a story about U.S. Air Force veteran Stacy Pearsall, who makes a connection with fellow veterans through photography while she recovers from injuries she suffered while serving in Iraq. The American Veteran is produced through a partnership between VA's Employee Education System and the VA Office of Public and Intergovernmental Affairs. You can view the Stacy Pearsall story on YouTube at this address. We'll run it here now.
I don't know, but you may have a smile in there, right? Somewhere? The Veterans Portrait Project started for me as a way to prove to myself that I was worthy of something still. We're going to take a couple, so bear with me here. As a combat photographer, I was a photographer to document them, but you know, inherently I became part of the story too. So I tried to kind of show or convey my emotions through my pictures too, in some way by use of light or shadows or any sort of emotion I could. It was one night, we were out with a unit and an improvised explosive device went off and pretty much destroyed the striker in front of us, and we were ambushed.
Stacy earned a Bronze Star for heroic action under fire, but she also sustained serious injuries. Injuries that abruptly halted her military career.
It was a really painful time, and I did not want to admit defeat because I had been fighting my whole career, literally and figuratively. I really relied on, during my recovery, keeping busy and showing myself that because the military said I couldn't do photography for them anymore did not mean I could not do it for myself.
It was during her recovery at the VA hospital that Stacy was suddenly hit with an idea.
I was sitting there for many hours waiting for my appointments and talking and speaking with many of the other veterans. Just hearing their stories, a little bit about them and their time in service. And I thought, well, maybe I could start bringing my camera and making portraits of them. Can I make your picture today? And over the course of the year, I ended up getting about 300 portraits. I'm gonna fix you up, okay? Your bow will tie up just a hair. Tilt your forehead that way, just a hair, good. And I want you to look right here on the top of the camera. You like it? That's how it kind of flourished from there. I got to meet a lot of veterans with some extraordinary stories. Some like this gentleman, Mickey Dorsey, who was part of the liberation of a concentration camp. Somebody like Maria, who's been to Afghanistan and Iraq. Or somebody like Joe, who's a Vietnam vet. And I thought, if I can't be a combat photographer, then maybe I can at least share their stories because they're so extraordinary. I mean, I still kind of like to think of it as each individual portrait being a tribute to each singular person and not just veterans at large.
I went up to have the picture made, and initially I wasn't really sure what would become of that. And then later, when they were posting the pictures on the wall, it dawned on me that, wow, you know, this is going to be a permanent exhibit.
I'm there with a whole bunch of people that have with backgrounds from all sorts of walks of life that have served their country and served here at the VA.
I think the faces of veterans are changing. We associate veterans with maybe our grandfathers from Korea or even our fathers and uncles from Vietnam. But I think of the military as sort of a slice of America at large with so many cultures and so much diversity, and that's what I really wanted to share with everybody. Now you have a beautiful smile. I want to get that going on. There we go. That's beautiful. Good. If I have one message is to never focus on the things that people tell you you can't do, but rather the ones you still can accomplish. I like that one, actually. It's really cute.
Yeah, that's nice.
Already a highly decorated Marine, former Sergeant Gary Landon Hill received the Silver Star Medal at the Tuscaloosa, Alabama VA Medical Center recently. Hill received the military's third highest decoration for valor for his actions as a fire team leader during the First Battle of Khe Sanh in 1967. The citation, signed for the President by the Secretary of the Navy, said Hill, then a Lance Corporal, repeatedly placed himself in harm's way to eliminate an enemy bunker and then a sniper firing on Hill and his team. Retired 31st Marine Commandant General Charles Kulak presented the medal to Hill.
A quick reminder, registration continues for the National Veterans Small Business Conference in St. Louis, August 6th through the 8th. Everything you need for the 2013 conference to be held at the beautiful America Center Convention Complex in St. Louis is at this webpage. You can become a sponsor, an exhibitor, book your hotel at discounted rates, and, of course, register online at the website. Connect, learn, and grow your business at this year's National Veterans Small Business Conference.
Did you know? The public service announcement by Gary Sinise we showed earlier is one of two that the popular actor and veterans advocate did recently for VA. Sinise has done countless projects to help our nation's heroes in uniform and after service. He did a public service announcement for VA's suicide hotline in 2008 that drew on his character Lieutenant Dan, a suicidal paraplegic Vietnam War hero in the hit movie Forrest Gump. The new public service announcements promoting volunteerism for veterans and careers at VA began airing nationwide July 1st.
That's all we have this week. I'm Bryn McGowan. Thank you for tuning in.
And I'm Herman Cohen. Have a great day and an even better tomorrow.